Hello friends, myself Parthiv Parekh. Welcome to LP Savani Group of School channel. Today we are going to discuss about the chapter number 8, gravitation, and our topic, that is the introductory part of this chapter. So in this question we have learned the model and the theory of planetary motions presented in earliest of times. Okay, so line to line we can read, then you can understand in better way. Okay, so shall we start? Okay, fine. So the earliest recorded model for planetary motions proposed by Ptolemy about 2000 years ago was a geocentric model in which all the celestial objects, stars, the sun and the planets, all the revolved around the earth. A more elegant model in which the sun was center, around which the planets revolved, the heliocentric model, was mentioned by the Indian Rishi and scientist Sri Aryabhatta in his treatise. 1000 years later, Nicholas Copernicus proposed a model in which the planets moves in the circle around the fixed central sun. His theory was discredited by the church but notable by Galileo. After Galileo, Tycho Brahe recorded the observation of the planets with the naked eye. His compiled data were analyzed by the Johannes Kepler. He gave 3 laws of planetary motion. These laws were known to Newton and enabled him make a great scientific leap in the proposing his universal law of gravitation. Okay, so this is how the introductory part. Now students, we know that the universal law of gravitation, but how did Newton's universal law of gravitation was discovered? So here we talk about the discovery of the Newton's law of gravitation. What is the base of this law? So one day in 1665, Newton, observing an apple falling from a tree, he was inspired to arrive at an universal law of gravitation. Okay, so this is the representation of the base of the law of gravitation. Newton's reasoning was that the moon, revolving in an orbit of radius rm, was subject to a centripetal acceleration due to the Earth's gravity of the magnitude, that is am is equal to v square by r. That is nothing but it is the centripetal acceleration of the moon due to the gravity of the Earth. That is nothing but it is 4 pi square rm by t square. So v is nothing but it is r omega. We already noted the relation between the linear velocity and angular velocity that we already seen in chapter number 7, that is rotational mechanics or rotational motion. Okay, so v equals to r omega, or omega is nothing but it is 2 pi nu. Omega is nothing but it is the angular velocity. So angular velocity we can write 2 pi nu. So nu is nothing but it is the frequency. So frequency we can write, that is 1 upon time period. So here we clearly write r multiplied by 2 pi by t. Okay, so here we easily calculate the rm, the distance between the earth and the moon, that is 3.84 into 10 power 8 meter. The time period of the revolution of the moon around the earth, that is t is equal to 27.3 days, we can easily calculate, and we convert into the second. So we multiplied 86400 with it. Okay, now we calculate the speed of the moon, that is the circumference of the orbit of the rotation, and divide by its orbital periodic time. So it is 2 pi rm by t. Okay, 2 pi rm by t. So we calculate the distance between the moon and earth, that is 3.84 into 10 power 8 divided by its time period, that is 27.3 multiplied by 86400 second. So easily we can find out the velocity of the moon, that is 1.02 into 10 power 3 meter per second. Okay, now we calculate the centripetal acceleration of the moon, that is v square by rm. So we put the value of v in this equation and r the distance between the earth and moon, so we can easily calculate the acceleration of the moon, that is nothing but it is 2.70 into 10 power minus 3 meter per second square, and the acceleration due to the gravity of the surface of the earth, that is g is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Now from equation 1 and 2, am is less than g. We can clearly see that g is 9.8, am is, that is the acceleration of the earth, that is acceleration of the moon, that is 2.70 into 10 power minus 3. It is very less of the earth's gravity. Okay, so it clearly shows the gravitational force of earth decreases with the distance. So the distance of the moon from the earth is large, and hence the gravitational acceleration due to the earth is small. So from the magnitude of the am and g, the Newton shows that the gravitational force is inversely proportional to the square distance. So am proportional to 1 over r square suffix m. Okay, and the acceleration due to the gravity on the surface of the earth, that is g proportional to 1 upon r square e suffix capital E. So r is nothing but it is the radius of the earth, and rm is nothing but it is the distance of the moon from the earth. Okay, now we are taking the ratio of equation 3 and 4, so we can get the value, that is 1 upon 60. 1 upon 60. See this. Okay, so clearly we can calculate the centripetal acceleration of the moon from this equation also, that is 2.72 into 10 power minus 3 meter per second square. It is similar to the above value we already calculated. So the value of am is obtained from inverse of square of distance. This value is similar to the value of obtained in equation 1. See this equation 1. Okay, see this. So we conclude that the Newton's universal law of gravitation is every body in the universe attracts every other body with a force with the force which is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. The direction of this force is along to the line joining of the two bodies. Okay, now students, we talk about the Newton's law of gravitation in mathematical form. How to represent the Newton's law of gravitation in mathematical expression. So here we have given one figure. First of all, the figure we will understood. Every body in the universe attracts every other body with the force which directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square distance between them. This is the universal law of gravitation. This quotation is the form of Newton's famous treatise called Mathematical Principle of Natural Philosophy. For obtaining the mathematical form of Newton's law of gravitation, let the force exerted by the point mass m1 on point mass m2 is F. So F is nothing but it is F proportional to m1 into m2, and as F proportional to 1 over r square. 1 over r square. So combinedly we can write F proportional to m1 m2 divided by r square. So here we introduce the proportionality constant, that is g. So g m1 m2 by r square. So g is called universal law. So g is called universal gravitational constant. Its value remains same in any place of the universe, and it is known as universal constant. That is the value of the g, that is 6.67 into 10 power minus 11 Newton into meter square by kilogram square. How it comes? So here we can write g is equal to F into r square divided by m square. Here we can take m1, both masses are suppose same. So m1 m2 is equal to m. We can take So F is nothing but F measured in Newton because it is force. R is distance, so it is measured in meters, but here is given meter square. So sorry, R square. So here we can write meter square divided by M, that is mass, it is measured in kilogram, so here we can write kg square. So this is how we can make the unit of this physical quantity, gravitational constant. Okay, thank you.